Hello, this is Mr. Wake again, and today I'm going to be talking to you about spirometry. So here is a picture of a spirometer, an older version of a spirometer, which is measuring a patient's breath as he's breathing out into the machine. Now this is very important because certain conditions can cause problems with the lungs, and hospitals and doctors want to know if there is progress when a patient is going through a disease and if they're able to breathe better, how much their lung capacity changes over time when they're getting treatment for a certain lung condition. In order to understand spirometry, you have to understand a few terms and some simple equations. Spirometry means the measuring of breath. Now this is a very important term because this is what we're going over. So what are we doing today? Well, I'm going over the terms you need to know in order to measure lung capacity or measure a full breath. Total lung capacity, otherwise written as TLC, is the total amount of air in the lungs alveoli and spaces after maximum inspiration. So if you take a deep, deep breath in until you can no longer breathe in, the amount of air contained in the spaces in your lungs is called the total lung capacity. So go ahead and try that now. Tidal volume, or TV, is the air inspired or expired during normal breathing. So it's just a simple breathe in or breathe out. There's no forced breathing in or breathing out during this phase. So this is tidal volume. Inspiratory capacity, or IC, is the air that can be inspired or breathed in after normal expiration. So if you take a simple breath out and then you take a deep, deep breath in until you can no longer breathe in, that amount of air that was breathed in is called the inspiratory capacity. Now here on the next slide we have the inspiratory reserve volume, or IRV. This is the amount of additional air drawn into the lungs after normal inspiration. So if you take a normal breath in and then draw in additional air after that normal breath in, that additional air that you are drawing into your lungs is called the inspiratory reserve volume, or IRV. Now the ERV, or expiratory reserve volume, is the opposite of the IRV. So if you breathe out a little bit, the additional air you're able to breathe out after normal expiration is called the expiratory reserve volume, or ERV. Functional residual capacity, or FRC, is the air left in the lungs after normal expiration. It is the volume of air in the lungs after all the muscles required for breathing are relaxed. So that's when your diaphragm and your intercostal muscles are relaxed. The residual volume, or RV, is the amount of air left in the lungs after forcibly expiring. So even after you force all the air you can out of your lungs, there is still a small amount of air left in the lungs that cannot be expired. That's called the residual volume. Alright, on this next slide you can see a graph showing a person's normal breathing rate, except for in one area where they forcibly breathe in and forcibly breathe out, and then return to normal breathing rate again. Now all of the terms are matched up on there and drawn on there for you. See if you're able to describe each of these terms as they apply to this chart. If you cannot define these terms with the chart, go back and see if you can understand the terms a little bit more. That ends the video for today. Hopefully it was helpful. I will see you guys again in the next lecture.